Hello.
Hi, I'm Kwaheri and welcome to my kitchen and leo Tunapika wholemeal oat banana bread. So yes, wholemeal flour, oats and bananas. Karibuni. So for the ingredients, we're going to need wholemeal flour. This is just atta flour, granulated sugar, oil. Just make sure you're using oil that doesn't have a strong flavor. So this is just sunflower oil. Maziwa mala or yogurt. When you're working with yogurt, you can work with either plain or vanilla. Don't get adventurous and get blackcurrant or something of that sort. Very, very ripe bananas. I wish mine were even more ripe than this, but this will do. Some good old oats, eggs, and then for flavor we have a cinnamon powder and nutmeg. I'm out of nutmeg powder, but I do have nutmeg itself. So this is how it looks like, guys. And then for the leavening, I'm using both baking powder and baking soda. Yes, the two are not the same. Baking soda is bicarbonate of soda and baking powder a different thing. So two of them. And yeah, vanilla essence is the cheap kind, but if you can get the real kind, the better. So let's get to mixing. So guys, we start by preheating our oven at 180 degrees Celsius. And as I've told you, this recipe caters for more than a loaf of bread. So before that, line your tin. Here's our loaf pan already lined with some parchment paper or greaseproof paper. I've seen this being sold at Carrefour and Quickmart. I think they label it as baking paper. So it's packaged like the way they pack aluminum foil. So that. And then for our cupcakes, here's our muffin tin all lined up with some pretty looking muffin liners or cupcake liners. So now we are ready to mix. We start with the dry ingredients. So here's our wholemeal or atta flour. I add in the oats, the baking soda and baking powder, the ground cinnamon, then the nutmeg. As I've told you guys, I'm using a whole nutmeg. So I have a nut cracker here because nutmeg is a nut. Yeah, duh, it has nut in its name. Anyway, so gently trying to crack it open. Oh, that was not gentle at all, but hey. So here it is inside. You see, so you have to remove this hard shell. Again, it smells amazing. You don't need a lot, like a teaspoon. I'm grating it on here. Okay. Now since I broke mine into pieces, I'll try and salvage. Yes, here's a nice good piece. Yeah, I can even smell it. Nutmeg usually just has such a warm spice. I don't know whether that makes sense. Yeah, it smells very warm and lovely. Like a cozy sweater, a fluffy blanket. That's what nutmeg is. Anyway, so I've grated the nutmeg. Then now you just mix everything together, all the dry ingredients. And here, when it comes to baking, like this recipe, I'm not counting sugar as a dry ingredient. So this is just flour, the leavening agents, oats, and the spices for the banana bread. So that is done. We set that aside. We start by peeling the bananas. As I've said, ensure you get extremely ripe bananas. Mine are not extremely ripe, but they'll do. They are pretty ripe, but yes, extremely ripe. Then, using a fork, mash your bananas. So just using the back of a fork like this, we're mashing the bananas. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, I don't know whether you guys, if you've watched my pancake banana recipe, you remember I said that when I'm mashing bananas for baking or pancakes, I don't like mashing them to oblivion because I like biting into a small banana piece. So the same applies to my banana bread. I don't mash it completely, but there are others who blend it and sort of make it like almost like a smoothie paste. That's still fine. So there are ripe bananas, and when they're very ripe, they mash pretty easily. Yes. So set that aside. Then we go in and add the other ingredients. I'll add in the sugar. It being a banana bread, the amount of sugar used in this recipe is less because bananas are sweet. And oil. Yes, so you might be wondering, why are you using oil as opposed to butter? First of all, when you use oil in recipes, baking recipes, it helps make the baked recipe, the whatever it is you're baking, moist. So it moistens. And you see, a banana cake, a banana bread is a dense cake. So anything you can do to increase moisture, you definitely do. Hence the reason why I'm using oil. But if you want to use butter for the flavor, you know butter is also rich, and also butter has some moisture content. So there's nothing wrong with that. In case you're going to use butter, you just make sure you cream the butter and the sugar first before adding in your mashed bananas. So again, for this recipe, you don't need many equipment. So with a handy whisk, you're good to go. If you don't have a whisk, you can just use a good old mwiko. So here it is, well mixed. Now we go in with the eggs. So eggs, as usual, you break them in one by one. It's always good to cracking the eggs separately, just in case you get a bad egg. Yeah, so you do not want to spoil your whole batter. So yeah, we just beat it in one egg at a time. There goes the second egg, cracking this one. And at the same time, we're going to add our vanilla essence, about a teaspoon. I usually just use the cup to measure. So yes. Yeah, then our final egg. So that is that. Now I'm going to go in with my mwiko, or rather spoon, this spoon, sorry, not mwiko. If you have a spatula, use that. Yes, I'm a baker without a spatula, but anyway, don't judge me. So we'll add a third of this dried ingredient mixture. That's about a third. Then fold it in, then add a half of our mala. I've said if you don't have mala, you can use yogurt, and the yogurt here to use is either plain or vanilla. The reason why I'm excusing vanilla is because this is something sweet, so the vanilla flavor won't be so much of a nuisance. So the other third of the flour mixture. The rest of the mala. And then final mixture. So when baking, you're just supposed to mix until incorporated. Don't go crazy. Like here, what we're doing, once we just mix and we don't see any flour, all the flour mixture is incorporated, we'll just put the mixture in the prepared tins, then we put it in the oven. So just fold, lift, and yeah, fold. This is going to be a very moist cake because of the oil used, because of the liquid. The mala and the yogurt usually add moisture to cakes and muffins. So here it is. See, that's the consistency. Now we're going to put it in our loaf pan. We'll start with the loaf pan since it's a banana bread and then some. So we mix, we add until like 2/3 way up. And now this is ready to go into the oven. So let's fill up our cupcake tin. Here it is. I'm going to use a tablespoon, just to scoop it in. My liners are not so big, so again, 2/3 fill it. So the beauty of this recipe, and the reason why I've decided not just to make it for just one loaf, is that as you're baking, the loaf it takes quite some time to bake. So for this recipe, I recommend, once you've measured out the loaf and the muffins, and maybe your oven can't accommodate both of them at the same time, start by cooking the muffins, because those ones won't take so long. And then as the bread is cooking, you snack on the muffins. Genius, right? Yeah. So, and then again, another thing, perhaps you want to surprise someone with a loaf of banana bread. Then you're thinking, now this recipe just makes one loaf. I don't get to taste the banana bread. Well, I got you covered. You make cupcakes, enjoy those, and then gift your banana bread. So since my liners are small, they've actually been able to make 12. Depending on the liners you use, you may decide to use a muffin tin, those giant muffin tins. Of course, the number will be less. Yeah, so like this. Then I'll also sprinkle oats on top. And yes, we put this in the oven. And we are ready to bake this. For the cupcakes / muffins, bake them 15 to 18 minutes at 180 degrees C. This will take 50 minutes. So I'll start with this, but if your oven is big enough, you can just put them both at the 15-minute mark, remove this, and let this continue baking. I know, yeah, we'll open the oven, but it's just once. So let's put these babies. So once the bread and the muffins are done, remove them from the oven, let them cool a bit, then we get to slice into them. So look at how that loaf looks. I've already removed the greaseproof paper. Look at that beautiful browning. Nice even rise. So let's give this a taste.